Hello, good morning everyone. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. This is Poonam Avasthi, your SST teacher. Today in this part 5, we are going to understand what happened after the uprising, or you can say what were the results of this great revolt. Fine. By this part 5, our chapter is going to be completed. At the end of the video, you will be getting a home task. Do that positively. And for map work students, we have already done map work of centers, the main centers of the revolt. The same map you can practice it from map practice book, page number 72. Okay, do it from that book, practice it, and yes, in case of any further doubt in this chapter, you can contact me in the comment section, or you can discuss all of your doubts in the upcoming online class. Okay, so let's begin today's topic, what happened after the uprising. Welcome all of you in part 5 of this chapter, The Great Uprising. Please refer page number 44 and 45 for today's topic. Today, we are going to understand what happened after the uprising, or we can say the result of the revolt of 1857. So let's begin. The most significant result of the uprising of 1857 was the end of the rule of East India Company. This was done by the Government of India Act of 1858. The British managed control over the country by 1858. Yes, they realized that they could not continue with same laws and policies. So, for this, British policies in India underwent major changes after 1858. So, the British Parliament passed a new act in 1858. By this act, all the administrative powers were transferred to the British Crown. All policies concerning India were to be framed by the government in Britain. The British Parliament appointed a Secretary of State for India. He was made responsible for all affairs concerning India. He was also given a council to advise him called the India Council. The Act of 1858 also made changes in the functioning of the government in India. The Governor General, which was also made under this Act, since he was appointed by the British Crown, he was given a title of Viceroy. He was considered as the representative of the British Crown. Queen Victoria assured the rulers of princely states that the government would not annex their territories. They could pass on their kingdom to their heirs or adopted heirs, but they had to accept the queen as sovereign. It means the right of a ruler to adopt a child in the absence of a natural heir was now accepted. The Queen promised not to interfere in the social and religious beliefs and customs of the Indian people. The British now students began to follow the policy of divide and rule. The British, they disliked the unity of Hindus and Muslims. They felt that to strengthen their rule, they needed to divide these two communities. For this, they started discriminating against them. The Act of 1858 also made changes in the army. The army was reorganized to prevent another revolt. The ratio of European soldiers was raised. All important strategic positions were to be held by European troops only. And the concept of martial and non-martial races was also created. The Sikhs, Pathans and Gorkhas, which helped the British, they were declared as martial races. People who belonged to the regions where revolt was strong, such as Awadh, Bihar, Central India, all of these, they were declared non-martial and they were kept out of the army. Now students, quickly see what we have studied about the Act of 1858. Features of the Act of 1858. The rule of the English East India Company ended by this act. The power to govern India was taken over by the British Parliament. The two main centers of power came in picture. The Secretary of State in England and the Governor General in India. Indian rulers were assured that their territories would not be annexed and they could pass their kingdom to their heirs or adopted heirs. The British now began to follow divide and rule policy. And yes, the army was reorganized. The concept of martial and non-martial races was also introduced. So students, this was all about the changes after the uprising, or you can say results of the Great Revolt. Okay, I hope it is very clear to you. Now please have a look to the home task. Do it carefully. By this our chapter is completed. And students, please refer page number 72 of your map practice book for map work. Okay, this is it for today. By this we are done with chapter 6, The Great Uprising. Thank you so much for watching. Keep watching, keep learning.